Case study has been conducted in Kerala, India, where primary education has been implemented. Despite the fact that the people's annual income is about 70 times less than the US GDP, their literacy rate, birth rate, life expectancy are almost identical. So this actually proves that it is not the amount of money that people have that determines their life quality, but the amount of education they get in order to know how to sustain themselves within that limited means that they are being given. So this is why we think that education is the most important factor that the government have to enforce for the people so that they can start with the knowledge that they know what they're doing. So in today's debate, there is a fundamental missing link in the government's model. They assume that by giving infrastructure to the people will ultimately come job opportunity. We have questioned them many times and without any answer coming back from their side. We question you by keep on building hospitals, keep on building libraries, but you don't have educated citizens in order to work there. How can you improve the country? We think that the difference between countries with educated citizens and countries that have been receiving aid for so long is because those countries with educated citizens, when they have received those aids, they know that these aids can be further developed to keep on going and keep on benefiting them over and over without their side, which is basically throwing money down the drain. So I would like to point out some more further how the government have no engagement in our side and what we have proposed to you today. On the first issue, on how they have not engaged when we pointed out donor fatigue, that will happen if they are going to continue giving aid to these people, because finally one day this international community will get tired by them not improving, and at the end of the day they will feel no need to keep on giving aid, and their country will suffer even more. And on the second point they did not engage is how we already pointed out that their technical skill is not enough, because they have already conceded to the fact that technical skill have already been taught in the status quo under their paradigm. But then we question you, why are they still in poverty then if these technical skills are so productive? We think that this is why the cycle of poverty will not be uplifted if you do not introduce them another level of education to improve those technical skills. And there was no reply from their side. And on the third point, on self-actualization, that would come with education. We already pointed to you how the benefits of people actually realizing their capability, and how by making the education universal, we actually know which kids actually have the potential to grow. We actually allow these kids to learn about themselves and their capability to be educated, to learn, and they have the capability to at least read the news, at least know what is going on, and at least understand what the world is doing around them. So these are the points that have not been answered by their side. And moving on to the issues that I see in this debate. On the first issue, dependency. We have already tackled this on the first level, that giving aid creates dependency and hampers development. But because the people do not learn about the significance of these aids, it's going to be helping them surviving day by day is the reason why the previous aid that have been given did not work, because there is no means for these people to step up. So therefore, this is what we talked about on the second level, on how donor fatigue will worsen the national life quality. Why? Because when these countries do not improve, the countries that have been giving them aid will be more reluctant to continue giving without result. So the aid will one day run out or stopped, and now the people on their side are left with nothing, because they have not implemented these skills, this education for the people. So the people will be used to receiving aid to survive day by day. So at the end of the day, when the aid stopped, they was like, so what am I supposed to do now? I don't have anything anymore, and nothing is gonna come. So we think that when that point comes, then there's no one else to turn to. Their side to have no means to develop the countries, because from the beginning they have skipped the first important part to create the sustainable human resources that they can sustain themselves in the long run. So moving on to my second issue on how universal primary education should always be prioritized even with limited resources. On the first level, how universal primary education provides an equal opportunity for self-actualization. This is what we introduced you the benefit of allowing everybody to be educated, because that provides equality to these people to learn about themselves and to learn about their capability to improve the society altogether. On their side, it is assuming that because these people are already poor, these people are already hungry, they have no incentive to do anything else other than eat. But we do not think so. There have been examples from our side that show how parents are very responsive when the government introduced free universal primary education to the country, where the enrollment rate increased by millions every year. We think that this already shows that the parents themselves already know how suffering, how hard it is for them to live in that country without education. So therefore, they want to ensure that their children will not be like them. Their children can have a better life. And that's the second level that we see education ensure the best use of available resources. Because now, with education, we have already created human resources for the people in the country. We think that on their side, they're just assuming that by throwing A's at these people, they will automatically know how to adapt to it. But we think that no, because what the most important resources that you can give to the country is human resources. Because the longer you keep on giving them A, not only that they're not going to learn, but they're going to keep on exploiting their own resources, the resources that they have. This is what we introduced in the second speaker's speech on how they are exploiting their own resources. Because by keep building factories for them, but they don't even have the knowledge that by working for these factories, cutting down their trees, at the end of the day, it's going to hurt them. And this is what we are talking this is what we are talking about when we introduced you the exploitation of the poor by the educated ones. When you're allowing these the developing countries to be exploited. To be exploited by other countries by making them the poorest class of labor force, you're actually allowing other countries to exploit their resources at the end of the day. And before I move on, yes.
With only basic skill of universal primary education, what kind of job will be available even after graduating the school? And don't you think
we think that by being able to read, you're already improving from basic farmers to SME farmers. We think that by being able to read, these farmers actually can read the labels of what they have been given by the government, and they can realize that wait, I can bring out an alternative way to improve my plants. So if we even going with that logic, that in that specific country or only have basic opportunities for lower scale work, we think that with education, that is the point where these people can actually improve the quality of the work and uplift themselves without any help from other countries, because they are now the human resources that can bring themselves up from poverty. And that's what we're talking about when we introduce you the idea of long-term sustainability. So moving on to my last issue on economic development. On primary education, strengthen the economy sustainably. On the first level, on higher quality workforce leads to upward mobility. It is true that these people already have some basic skills such as farming, but with education, we are making the farm more effective, and therefore at the end of the day, we think that this will come back and tackle the problem of poverty, because now they are the ones who are facing their own problem. So at the end of the day, we are proud to oppose. Thank you very much.